Okay, going live. Hello everyone, I am Sanjay Gupta. I welcome you on Sanjay Gupta Tech School. I have Abhishek with me for one more session. Welcome Abhishek on the platform, first of all. So, Abhishek will be delivering like last scenario session. So this is episode 12, and in this session, as on the slide you can see, today he will be explaining all four components: data raptor, integration procedure, OmniScript, and FlexCard. So FlexCard will be new for you in this session, in this season, because this is for the first time he will be introducing FlexCard, and will tell you how you can use FlexCard in OmniStudio along with DR, IP, and OmniScript, right? So with this session, like all the scenario-based sessions will be completed, and we will be having two project sessions in the next month, where we will be having some scenarios, and he will be implementing those in front of you so that you have the project understanding as well. Okay, because in these sessions we explained things in pieces, but in those project sessions everything will be implemented end to end, so those will be helpful for you, right? So I think we can move forward. So Abhishek, if you can talk about you a little bit.
Sure, Sanjay. So, hi everyone, myself Abhishek, and I'm working as a Salesforce velocity developer since 5+ years now. And I have done some certifications around velocity as well as on Salesforce core, and some certification around velocity are OmniStudio developer, industry speaker developer, and there is one more called health coding developer. And there are some certifications on Salesforce as well, as you can see on the screen. So, yeah, that's all about it.
Okay, thank you, Abhishek. And moving forward, if you want to become part of a community where lots of experienced and freshers are connected, they are learning Salesforce, sharing their knowledge. So you can scan this QR code. And if you want to share some reviews or feedback through YouTube or LinkedIn, so you can follow Sanjay Gupta Tech School, and please share the reviews. And whenever you do the certification, tag Abhishek so that he can feel uh, proud, like with his knowledge, people are learning OmniStudio and clearing certification and upskilling their career. Okay, so with this note, let's jump onto the scenario now. So as you can see, like we will be having all four components together. So it will be a bigger example, and it is in continuation with one example that he already explained using OmniScript, IP, and DR. So over to you, Abhishek. So just give a little insight of that previous implementation, and then just let people know how we can introduce FlexCard.
Yeah, sure, Sanjay. So, I mean, like in the previous session that where we executed the OmniScript IP plus DR, in that example, what we did, so I'm gonna show it from the org itself. I mean, like what exactly we did in that. So let me go to the OmniScript that we created into the previous session. Yeah. So this was the OmniScript that we created into the previous session, where in the first step we were asking user to select the object for which he wants to see the data, and then in the IP we were passing the whatever value has been selected into the first screen, and in that IP what we were doing, we had some conditional block. If object is equals to account, then execute the data raptor of account. If it is contact, then execute the data raptor of contact. And in the response, we were saying that if object is account, then give me the data from DRE account, and otherwise give me the data from DRE contact. And in the OmniScript again, we had two screens. First is for showing the data from for the account with the conditions, where we were saying object is equals to account and second screen is for the contact. So these two screens were conditional. Now, what we're gonna do is rather than showing the data into the OmniScript itself, we're gonna show the data into the flex card. The reason why we are doing this because if we go back to the IP and open the data raptor, we have added one condition in that. I mean, like we are always retrieving only one record with the limit parameter or the limit parameter. The reason because in the OmniScript we can only show one record at a time. But now what we're gonna do with the help of flex card, we're gonna use a data table. So if you are aware of LWC components, we use data table to show n number of records. So that sort of functionality we're gonna build into the flex card and show all the records fetched by the data raptor. And another thing is what we're gonna do is, so I'm gonna start so this is the brief introduction for the previous session. And for today's session, what we're gonna do is we're gonna read the object name from the first screen, which is account or contact, and then we're gonna pass the value from OmniScript to flex card. And in that flex card, we're gonna call that IP. So we're gonna remove this IP, we're gonna remove this screen, and we're gonna introduce a new screen, which will be calling the flex card. And in that flex card, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pass the parameter from flex card to IP, which is getting passed from the OmniScript. So the flow is like you will read your parameter from OmniScript, object name, account or contact, then you will pass it to the flex card. And in the flex card, you will call the IP, and from the flex card, you will be passing the object parameter. Correct? And so I'm gonna begin this session with the introduction of flex card. What is flex card and how do we use it? So I mean, like you must be aware of flex card already because we have covered this topic into the previous season. But I'm gonna give you a brief introduction again. So basically, this name and title is your flex card name. So let's say I'm gonna call it like FC underscore show account or contact record contacts. So you can keep the same name as title as well. And there are two themes, Lightning and Newport. And so we're gonna go with the Lightning, of course, because from the starting we are working on Lightning only. And if you want this flex card to be a child flex card, so what does that mean? If you turn this on, then this flex card can be used into any other flex card. If you keep this flag as off, then you cannot use this flex card into any other flex card. This is your author. You can give it anything, and then description. And as soon as I click on next, there is the second step called as select data source type. So basically, what data source you want to select to show the data into that flex card, that you can select. So basically, you always use your flex card whenever you want to show some sort of data onto the UI. So there are various number of options like SQL query, SOSL, Epix remote, REST, data raptor, IP, streaming API, and custom. So for our case, what we have to do is we have to call the IP, correct? Because we will be calling the IP from data raptor and passing the object name. So I'm going to click next. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the same IP that we are calling from our OmniScript. So I think that name is IP fetch account or contact, right? And okay, let me open this into another tab so that we can see what our IP is doing. Let me go to the IP. Yeah. So in the IP, I think we are expecting a parameter called as object. Yeah, this object. So we have selected our IP name, and from the input map, we can pass the object name. Okay. So let's say right now, I'm gonna hard code it. After that, I mean, like once we move on, I'm gonna make it dynamic as well. Contact. So we are passing the value contact into the object parameter, which is expected into your IP. And if I click next, and let's save the flex card now, and it will create a flex card. Okay. And so basically, this is the structure of the or the UI of your flex card. This version, clone, activate are similar, preview are similar to your OmniScript. This is your structure parameter where you will be able to see your UI, whatever elements that you are using. Into the build, you will be able to see many things like action, block, chart, custom LWC. So almost everything which is available into your IP, which is available into your OmniScript, all the things will be available here. There are some new things introduced by FlexCard, like which is your data table chart. You can show some sort of chart and kind of icon thing that also this is kind of new. Image, this is new. So this is all these things are introduced into the FlexCard as a new elements that you can use. And in the input, all things are same, like checkbox, currency, date time, all similar things that we have into the OmniScript. If I go to properties, so basically your flex card, so you can compare this thing as your step into your OmniScript. So whenever you will be creating a flex card, you will be having an active, like this whole thing called as a state. So you can have multiple state. So like if I want to copy, replicate it, let's say I'm going to call it active one, click on save. So there will be a new state. So like we can show to multiple state conditionally. I can add some sort of condition and do my things. But for this examples, we don't need multiple states. So we can go with the one only. And into the style, so yeah, this is the best part of your flex card. Whenever you are working with the flex card, if we compare with the OmniScript, you can give some sort of CSS properties with the configuration. Like you can set the height for your flex card, minimum height, maximum height, and all these things. Like you can check the other configurations by yourself, but yeah, like there are so many things that we can do with the configuration on the CSS site. And if I go to setup, again, this is a flex. Like you can update your data source into the setup. Like IP, like when we were creating our flex card, we selected IP. If you want to change it later on, you can do from the setup. You can select anything else. If you figure out something else, you can pass the parameters. You can do all the things. And some other things are like, like as we go into the session ahead, I will explain you some other things, other options as well, like this repeat option. I will explain you this OmniScript support, multi-language support, and all these things. So right now, what we did is we called the IP. We passed the parameter as contact, which is your hard-coded parameter right now. And for just testing purpose, what we can do here is we can click on this save and fetch button. And as soon as you will click your save and fetch button, your IP will get called into the background. And if you go to the JSON, you will be able to see that your result is coming from your IP. So this is your contact name. Let's say I'm going to make it as account. And if I click again, then my one account record is coming. Correct? Okay, so let's do one thing. We're going to remove the limit now because we don't need it anymore. Delete, and similar for contact as well. Okay, for contact, we already do not have any limit. Okay. Let's go back to the flex card. And if I click on refresh, oh,
Yeah, it is still returning one record only, right?
yep. Let's execute it from here, from the IP. Yeah.
Yeah, here also only one.
Okay. So, I mean, like into the debug, it is giving all the records, but from the response, it is giving only one. And what's the reason for that? Is object is equals to this. Then give me all the records from your DRE account. Accounts, and I think if I do it for contact, execute.
But in the
For
logs
that
we
as
are having, so why not in the response?
yep. So that is what I'm trying to understand, Sanjay. But let's see. If object is equals to this, can give me all the things from. Okay. Let me create a version for this IP. And if I do it again, let's see. Okay, it is coming as 1. If I go to the additional output, okay, and let's do that. Account colon this. Contact colon this, because our conditionally block element name is account and contact. So this is just a guess. I'm not sure whether it will work. Okay, it didn't work. No worries. Just give me a second. Okay. Let's have it
Can we
from
have,
this.
yeah, just check once. Yeah, here it is showing
Yeah.
all the data. And
Okay.
name.
Okay. So what we can do to fix this problem, I think we can use one set values. Not sure. I mean, like, again, this is a try, but let's try to do that. So here I'm gonna say result, and same thing. If object is equals to account, then give me this, then give me guess, then
Okay, set value then we'll be passing here instead of,
right.
okay.
So if I click execute now, oh, set values is giving me the, okay, no, it still give me only one output. Okay, no problem. I think I will figure this issue out later on, but for just now, what we can do here is we can have multiple responses, response account, and which will be again conditional, response contact, and from here we're gonna remove it, and here we're gonna say DRE,
DRE underscore contact.
correct, contact, and same for this, we're gonna remove this, and here we're gonna say DRE account. So now if I go and click on preview, it should give me all the results. Nothing came.
So I think something wrong with it because earlier it was working.
Okay, just a second. This is the problem with this. Sometimes I mean, like, it takes some time to execute a few simple scenarios.
In DRE underscore account we are getting the data, but why it is not showing?
I mean, like, as soon as I enable this one, then this DRE account is not getting executed. That's the problem. It directly execute the Hmm. Strange. Okay. Mm.
So
And if I do,
have you created a new version and activated that one, or?
no, yeah, I have created a new version. Okay, I mean, like, okay, I have one more option to execute this one. So what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put it here, DRE count, and for this, I'm gonna say contact. So we're gonna have two responses.
But they will run
Execute.
conditionally, yeah. This
Correct.
time it
Now
is
it will
working,
get
yeah.
done. Let's activate this version and let's go back to the flex card. And if I go here again, if I click on save and fetch, it is giving me all the records now, right? Because we have modified it. And if I pass the contact, it will give me all the contact records, right?
Yeah.
So now, how do we show this all the things into the data table? So you just need to search for data table. You can just drag and let me expand, and you can just drag and drop this data table in here. So as you can see, as soon as you have dragged and dropped the data table, all the records that that are fetched from your IP now visible into your flex card. And I mean, like, um, so if you click on this column, you will be able to see the mapping as well, name, which is coming from your IP. Okay. And whatever data is coming from your IP, that will be saved by default into the records. So if I remove this, then nothing will get displayed. So for showing the records, I have to do this. Now if I go to preview, right, or just checking what exactly we are able to see onto the screen, you will be able to see one problematic thing over here, which is like, okay, let it visible first. Yeah. So all the contacts are coming, and if you scroll down again the contacts are getting repeated, right? And the reason is there is a setting called in your flex card repeat options. This. So if you deselect this repeat option, so basically what it is doing that, let's say you are able to fetch 10 records from your IP. So that data table will repeat 10 times if you enable this option. And in each data table, those 10 records will be visible. But as soon as you deselect this one, if you go to the preview and now if you see this again, then the data table will come only once and all the records will be visible into a data table. Oh, okay. I think this didn't got saved. Save and fetch. Now if I preview, yeah, no, Sanjay, Sanjay AB12.
Yeah, I think it is repeating.
Yeah, Sanjay AB12. Yeah, you're right. Let me go to design again. I mean, like, this is the but if I talk about the that this is the, I mean, like, one of the most buggy product that OmniStudio have, which is your flex card. Till OmniStudio, everything works fine. But as soon as you work with FlexCard, this is a buggy product from the Salesforce, to be very honest. So most of the time you will get frustrated why it is not working. So that's the problem. But no worries.
Yeah, but
Let me do
here it is showing correctly, right? In the pop-up. But here it is.
correct. Um, I think it is still Okay, I think this is not working, but this is, this is one thing that we can skip for now because,
Yeah, so we just need to enable, disable that checkbox for repeat. If we want to repeat, we can enable, otherwise we can disable.
correct.
Yep.
Yeah. And, oh, I think, no, we don't need this because it was previously coming. Results. Okay. No. Yeah. Okay. So now the other thing is that we want to pass this value as a dynamic value, right? So what we can do here is we can create some sort of parameter in this flex card. Let's say you're gonna call it as object name. And as soon as you you will put something into the curly braces, there will be a test parameter will get created automatically. So now I'm gonna type the contact, and if I click save and fetch, I will still able to fetch the values. So the benefit of this thing is I can use this parameter into the OmniScript, and from the OmniScript I can bind the variable. I can bind this variable, this object variable, correct? So that whatever we are selecting, it will get passed automatically to your flex card, and into your flex card, then the bindation will work dynamically. So this is just a test parameter. Whatever we will be selecting into the OmniScript will get passed to the flex card. So till now, we are half done with the flex card. We'll go back to the OmniScript now. And I'm going to create a new version for OmniScript, and I will start removing the other things to incorporate the flex card into the OmniScript. So we don't need the IP call. We don't need this one. We don't need this one. And I'm going to drag and drop one step.
Okay, so you mean to say all the DRIP we called in FlexCard, and now FlexCard we are calling in OmniScript.
Correct. So let's call this name step as records for now.
So
and yeah,
FlexCard will be always part of this OmniScript. We cannot call OmniScript in FlexCard.
We can do that as well.
Okay.
I mean, like, this is one of the example that we will be seeing into our project implementation.
Okay.
Okay. So, and for calling that flex card, we have to drag and drop custom LWC component from the build panel. Because whenever you will activate your flex card, it will be created as a LWC component. Okay. And now you can copy your flex card name and you can search over here into your OmniScript. But for now, it will not be visible. I mean, like, it will be visible, but it will not work. The reason is because we haven't activated our flex card, right? So, I mean, like, this is the way of calling your flex card from the OmniScript. Now, second part arrives: how to map this object name parameter that we have in our flex card with our OmniScript, correct? So what we have to do over here is go to your custom Lightning Web Component properties on wherever you are calling your flex card. And in your property name, there is a documentation as well that we will be sharing. There is a documentation as well. So from your custom Lightning Web Components, you have to type parent-attribute. Okay. And in your property source, you can bind your variable. So basically, I'm going to bind the whole step, which is your choose object. Okay. So basically what I did is, in the parent-attribute, I have bind the choose object step, and in that choose object step, I have a element called as object, and that thing. So basically, this choose object, whatever we have into the choose object step, that will get passed to your flex card. Make sense?
Yep.
Then now what will happen? We're gonna go to the flex card again. So basically, right now we have created this object name parameter, but from our flex card we are passing some sort of parent-attribute thing. So how to access that thing into your flex card? The syntax for that one. I mean, like that is again a documentation part that we will be sharing. But when you are passing the data from your OmniScript in the form of parent hyphen attribute, over here you have to write parent dot whatever element you have, which is your object. So basically, in your choose object, you have one element called object, and you have binded your choose object step to your flex card. And in your flex card, what you are doing is, for getting the values from your OmniScript, you have to start with parent dot, then whatever element name that you have into your flex card, into your OmniScript. Okay. So I'm gonna remove this, and in this one, I'm gonna type the contact. I'm gonna click save and fetch. I will be receiving all the records, and now I can activate my flex card. I'll explain this whole functionality, how we are passing the data once we have built the whole functionality. Then I can click on done. Now I will go to my flex card, and from my flex card, if I'll refresh this once, and we'll again go to the OmniScript. Yep. We have, so now as you can see, there are two things coming. First is your flex card name, CFFC. I mean, like CF is added by OmniStudio by default, and then FC underscore your flex card name, and then flex card name hyphen M hyphen author. So let's say if you have multiple versions of your flex card, then you can select particular version as well. And if you select the topmost, then always the activated version will get selected. Okay. So for now, I'm gonna go with, let's say, this -1. And if I go to preview, I mean, like that's the now is the part when we'll see the results. And if I select, let's say I'm gonna select the account, I'm gonna click next. As you can see, the flex card is not getting visible. It is coming as that custom lightning web component. The reason, whenever you are using any flex card into your OmniScript, you have to activate your OmniScript. Then only your flex card will be visible into the OmniScript. So done. Now if I preview, I hope it works, because there is a product bug from OmniStudio for the flex card, which never works on the first time. On click of next, yeah, it's working. So as you can see, I selected the account for now. So all the accounts are coming, Sanjay, AB1, 2, all these things. And let's say I'm gonna select the, I think I selected the contact. Yeah. Now I'm gonna select the account, and if I click next, no. I think I selected the contact. Okay. Now I'm gonna select the account. Is it working as?
I think both are showing same results.
Yeah. So I think this is the problem we have in our DRE contact, DRE account. Okay. Let me go to the flex card, and let's say I'm gonna preview it. So for contact, it is showing the contacts, and let's say I'm gonna do the account. Okay, here it is working fine. I think I have got it. What's the problem with this? So I'm gonna create a new version for now, because whenever you are using a flex card into your OmniScript, you have to check one more checkbox, which is this OmniScript support. This is the another configuration that you have to do. And if I click save and fetch, it should get saved. And I'm gonna activate. And into your OmniScript, I mean, like, as I have selected the first version, now I have to select the second version, because I have created a new version of the flex card. If I go here, click this. Yeah, as you can see, second version is also coming. And I'm gonna activate this. Quickly. Okay. Another issue of OmniStudio. So what we have to do is now we have to clone our OmniScript.
Okay.
I mean, like, this is the most confusing part for me as well whenever I'm working with OmniScripts.
So why this version is not working? It is like internal issue or?
It is an internal issue. So basically, when you are using a flex card into your OmniScript, and when you create a new version of your OmniScript and activate it, and if you preview it, it will always show that your OmniScript is deactivated.
Okay.
So now you have to clone your OmniScript. So I'm gonna change the subtype, and it will clone my OmniScript, and let's activate it. That's why people do not use flex cards very frequently, but it is a powerful tool, I must say. I mean, like, Salesforce have to work on the product side for flex card, but it's a powerful tool if these sort of errors will not come. Yeah, now it is visible. I'm gonna select the account, click next.
Yep.
Yeah, now I can see all the accounts are coming. And if I select the contact, all the contacts are coming. Right?
Yeah, here
So
I have one question. Like,
yeah.
we fetched only one field, so one column is there. If we fetch two fields, so in this data table automatically two columns will be created? No.
No. So first of all, we have to create a mapping into the data raptor. Exact, right? Then you have to create a new version of your data raptor. Your flex card, and you have to edit your data table and add the new column into it.
Okay.
So that's the understanding. And okay. So I mean, like, it must be very confusing how I did all the configuration and all. So I'm gonna explain it one more time. So first of all, simple, we have created a step. We have added one pick list named as object and added two values into it, which is account and contact. Then we created one flex card, and in that flex card, into the setup, we called our IP, which was already created. And that IP is expecting a parameter called as object. And in that object, we have to pass the value which we are selecting into our OmniScript, into this pick list field. Okay. So what we will do is, into the next step, we are calling our flex card with the help of custom Lightning Web Component element from the build. And we have selected our flex card name, and into the custom Lightning Web Component properties configuration, we are passing this parameter parent-attribute. And in that parent-attribute, we are passing the step, which is your choose object. And your choose object step contains one element called as object. Now, if we go back to the flex card, into the flex card, as a parameter, what we are doing is, for fetching the values from your OmniScript, we have to add this keyword called parent, and after that use the dot operator, and after that you can use the object, and this object is your element name which is in your OmniScript, this object. So this should match. And then in the flex card we are using a data table, and in the data table we have created the mappings for the name field. because we are only having name right now. And after that, we have activated our OmniScript, and then from the preview, what is happening? We are selecting any value, and this value, as you can see in the choose object, we have one element called object. And as soon as I click on next, this object is getting passed to this parameter parent.object, and it will be replaced with the whatever value we are selecting into the OmniScript, and it will get passed to your IP, and that IP will give you the results, and in the data table all the values will get set. And also, if you can see, the values are not getting repeated here.
Yeah,
it was only happening into the flex card.
Yeah. So checkbox is
So-
working here. Yeah.
Checkbox is working here. So I mean, like, I just wanted to clarify that it's a product issue. I'm not I'm not saying this for the sake of saying onto the live stream. So it's a product issue that you can see it's not working onto the flex card preview, but it's working onto the OmniScript preview.
OmniScript, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, it is a complete example which is bundled as OmniStudio tool, FlexCard, IP, DR, OmniScript.
Yeah, I think makes sense, and it is very challenging, and we need to pause and implement. Without implementation, I don't think it is understandable.
No,
Okay, so I think it is very helpful, and maybe once we do the project session, so then with the help of these knowledge, whatever you shared, those projects will be very much helpful, right? So guys, please practice all these scenarios in order to understand the project, right? So we'll be having those sessions in the April month. So I will share recordings. Sorry, I will share the live streaming links with you whenever we'll be having the sessions. And if you're watching the recording, so once it is done, you can go through the recordings and implement the project step by step, so that you can mention those in your CV also, like you have done some sort of POCs. Okay, so I think with this note, we take your leave. Thank you, Abhishek, for delivering the session. And thank you for joining the session live, or if you're watching the recording, thanks to you as well. Okay, see you in the next session next month with project implementation.